Hi everybody, I'm Lisa and welcome to Keeping It Real Cooking with Lisa. Today we're going to be making Epicure's Philly style cheesesteak. Not a cheesecake, but a cheese steak. So the first thing we have to do is we're going to slice some onions and some onions, add them to a bowl with our shaved steak. So let's do that. So first things first, we're going to cut and clean the peppers. So let's cut our onions and our peppers. So voila, we have our vegetables. They're cut. We're going to add them to the bowl. All right, just set it in there. And then what we're going to do is add a little oil. I use olive oil because that's my preference. We're going to add our Philly cheesesteak seasoning. Okay. Doesn't that look good? I wish you could smell it. So we've added our seasoning for our Philly cheesesteak to our onions and peppers. And then we need to slice some mushrooms, which I forgot to slice ahead of time. See how that is? So let's set that right there. I got my onions, so I'm going to use my Epicure Prep Pro chef knife. And let's get all of the mushrooms cut. Now that all of our mushrooms are cut, we're going to dump those right in there. And then we're going to stir them around. I'm going to use my saute spoon and just kind of stir that around with the oil and the Philly cheesesteak seasoning. I'm just using one of my tried and true silver bowls that I got from my mom or my grandmother. I don't really know. You know, most people have them. So all I'm doing is mixing the seasoning around, okay? And then the recipe calls for 1 pound. Now, of course, all the recipes are right on the back of our Epicure seasoning packets or a sachet. So if you want to make them sound fancier, you can call it my Epicure sachet. And I stopped at the local meat market and got shaved steak. And so I'm going to put this in here so that it can get that seasoning on it. I know you're all saying, yum. My daughter's watching. She's going, all right, that's just disgusting. So I got 2 pounds because I have found personally that when you double the recipes with your protein, the integrity of my flavor has never been compromised. So I always double the protein. All right. So now what we're going to do is just kind of toss these around. All right. Toss them around because you want to get all that seasoning on the meat. And then this comes out best if you let it sit a little while, you know, cover it and come back. And then put it in the oven. And the next step is we're going to put it on the Epicure sheet pan with the liner and put it in the oven for 10 minutes. So don't go away. I'll be right back. All right, so I'm going to be using the 2/4 sheet pans and the liners. The sheet pans and the liners come separately, but they save and make your cleanup so much easier. And there's no need for foil or parchment paper or any of those kind of items anymore. I'm going to grab my grip and grabs. Oh, and they come in your utensil kit, I think. So we do have a full-size sheet pan or the 1/4. I have my full-size sheet pan, but the liner is, I just washed it, so the liner is buried in my Jenga, as I call it. Dishes Jenga, that's what we play at my house. So I'm just taking these out, and this is my Epicure silicone ladle. How awesome is that? It's easier than my tongs at the moment. And I'm just going to spread this out. I could have done it on my full-size sheet pan, and it might have been a little bit better. I have 2, but I loaned one out to a friend, and Like I said, the other one's in dishes Jenga. So what I'm gonna do is get all of my shaved steak and Philly cheesesteak seasoning and veggies onto the quarter sheet pans. Now, the next thing we're gonna do is put them in the oven. So I have 2 quarter sheet pans of the Philly cheesesteak with the peppers, onions, and fresh cut mushrooms in the oven for 5, 10, 15 minutes. I'll see you then. And it's time. Let's get the Phillies out of the oven. Are you ready? We have 45 seconds. So I have it on 2 sheet pans. I did add another 5 minutes, so it ended up being 20 minutes. But if I would have used my full-size sheet pan, this is the full size. I probably could have spread them out a little bit more because the 2 quarters are like half size of this, but I wouldn't have had, you know what I mean. But my liner wasn't clean, so I didn't want to use it. So that's all right. I used the 2 quarters. So what we're gonna do is I got my grip and grabs ready. And this is Lisa, keeping it real, cooking with Lisa. 4 seconds, 2, 1. So now what we're gonna do, I'm gonna turn the oven off so I don't forget. I'm just gonna take out one of my pans and check out that Philly cheesesteak. This is Epicure's Philly cheesesteak, and this house smells delish. What do you think? Ooh, all right, so I have my Epicure roll-up rack on the counter so that my counter doesn't burn. And I'm going to take my Philly cheesesteak. I don't have a big hoagie roll. I am just going to use a tortilla and make a wrap. So this is how I do it. And yes, the big old hoagie roll makes it your great traditional Philly cheesesteak, but I don't really want all that starch. So I'm going to do a wrap. So I'm going to take my Epicure grip and grabs and put some of my peppers and onions and mushrooms and get my steak, kind of spread it out. Oh my gosh, it smells good. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my spatula, which is in the wash. I guess it's a good thing, right, that my stuff is in the wash, because then you know I actually use everything. I'm not just selling it to you, I actually use these products. So I'm not going to worry about that. All right, so I'm going to set my saute spoon right there. I'm going to grab another piece of meat. All right, so now here's my, look at that. How yummy does that look? Oh. All right, so now what I'm going to do, I have put cheese on the bottom. I'm going to put a little more cheese on top. All right, a lot more cheese on top. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll mine up. I'm going to try anyway. Okay. So I'm going to roll it. Eat a mushroom. It's not fitting, so I might as well eat it, right? And then what I'm gonna do is I'm delivering this to my dad. So I have a container ready to go, and I have my dad's Philly cheesesteak wrap in the container and ready to take to him. Yum. Epicure's Philly cheesesteak. Order yours today.